How are you? I hope you are all doing well. Please sit back, relax, and why are we here today? Here's the thing, my channel just hit 10,000 subscribers, which is wild. I didn't know what to do, so I guess I'll just list some random Gothic facts for you. I think it's a win-win. It's easier to edit for me. You get a longer video. And not like I'd replace this with how I usually make my videos, but it'd be a nice change of pace, even though I have absolute no idea how to do a proper ASMR video. But of course, most of these facts won't be a repeat of what I've already mentioned in my previous videos. It'd be something new. Mostly. Even so, I don't know if it's a good idea, but you tell me, alright? By the way, would you mind if I just move a bit and move my blackboard over here in case I need to show you some images? Alright, here we go. I'll just be my usual self and speak and just start like now. Let's start with the original Goth, the one who sacked Rome, You might have heard of the sack of Rome on the 24th of August 410 AD, under the lead of King Alaric I of Visigoth, but that was not the first time Goth attacked the Roman Empire. Their first known attack was the sack of Istria in 238. Istria did try to rebuild their walls, but sadly they were destroyed by the Goths again in 295, around 57 years after the first attack. Istria used to be a Greek colony, and it was known as Istros. Today, Istria is called Istria, located in Romania. Even so, Goths are not always the enemy of the Roman Empire. Some of them even work as Roman mercenaries. A notable example was when Constantine brought 40,000 Goths to help defend Constantinople during the 4th century. After that, the palace guard was mostly made up of these Germanic warriors. On their fashion side, it seemed that Goths were known for wearing skins. And I mean skins from animals they hunted or raised. What kind of skins did you think of? Anyway, the point is that the Goth penchant for wearing skins became somewhat fashionable in Constantinople, but it did not sit right with some traditionalists. A clear example would be from a 4th century Greek bishop named Synesius, who questioned Gothic tribes' royalty and used the animal skins the Goths wear as a comparison. Here's the translated text. Allow me to read it for you. A man in skins leading warriors who wear the chlamys, exchanging his sheep skins for the toga to debate with Roman magistrates and perhaps even sit next to a Roman consul, while law-abiding men sit behind. Then these same men, once they have gone a little way from the Senate house, put on the sheepskins again, and when they have rejoined their fellows, they mock the toga, saying that they cannot comfortably draw their swords in it. What should I say next? You know that the Gothic tribes also have their own alphabets, right? The alphabets that inspired by Greek, Latin, and Runic alphabets. And in 2001, the Gothic alphabets were added to Unicode. What is Unicode, you ask? Unicode is a universal system for encoding text, so computers can display and understand characters from different languages. Each character in Unicode has a unique number called a code point. The Gothic letters were given a range of code points. It was from U plus 10330 to U plus 1034F. This range is part of a section called Supplementary Multilingual Plane, which is used for writing systems and symbols that don't fit in the basic set. Okay, are you bored of the Gothic tribe yet? I hope not. They are one of my favorites. You know what? most things labeled as Gothic are my favorite just because it has the word Gothic in it anyway. So let me see. The next one would be about Gothic architecture, naturally. As you know, Gothic architecture is designed to be tall, with the help of flying buttresses, pillars, and arches. But there's still such a thing as being too tall, or it could just be bad engineering, I don't know. I'm talking about Beauvais Cathedral in France, which has the highest Gothic choir in the world, standing tall at 48.5 meters or 159 feet. But before this, they used to have a much higher tower of 153 meters or 502 feet, which also made it the highest human construction during that time. And when I said during that time, I meant only for 4 years, from 1569 to 1573. Can you guess why only 4 years? Yes, because it collapsed. Simple as that. So after the collapse, the title went back to St. Mary's Church in Stralsund, Germany, a Gothic church which stands at 151 meters or 495 feet tall. Next fact, according to Nebraska Acoustic Group, a large Gothic cathedral could have reverberation time up to 9 seconds, while a concert hall would generally have the reverberation time between 1.8 and 2.2 seconds. Of course, you wouldn't want too much reverb during live concert, but this definitely contributes to the fact why music in the cathedral sounds ethereal. And have you ever heard of Sedlet's Ossuary? It's the chapel beneath the cemetery church of Olsen in the Czech Republic, known for its decorations made from skulls and bones. It is said that the ossuary holds the bones of an estimated 40,000 to 70,000 people. The origin of why they used bones to decorate the chapel, instead of just burying the corpse, started in the year 1278. Henry, the abbot of the Cistercian monastery in Sedlitz, went to Jerusalem, known as the Holy Land, and brought back a small amount of soil from Golgotha, which is a skull-shaped hill in Jerusalem, the site of Jesus' crucifixion. Then Abbot Henry sprinkled soil over the monastery cemetery. This simply made the cemetery a decided place to be buried for people across Central Europe. And after that, lots of things happened, including the Black Death in the mid-14th century and the Hussite Wars or the Bohemian Wars in the early 15th century, and there's simply no place left for burying dead bodies anymore. At first, in the 16th century, they decided to cement the bones to the ossuary walls before the House of Schwarzenberg hired a man called František Rent to reorganize the bones in the 19th century. It was 1870, if you want the exact year. So yeah, that's how this dark building came to be. Let's jump to another famous Gothic architecture, which is Cologne Cathedral in Germany. Yes, the epic cathedral that people on social media often make a short TikTok videos or reel of it, featuring the song Sonne by Rammstein. The construction of this cathedral began in the medieval times in the year 1248, before the construction was halted in 1560. Then the construction officially continued again from 1842 to 1880. And of course, this grand building used to be the highest structure in the world from the year 1880 to 1884, before the Washington Monument took its ranking. In 1996, the cathedral became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Then, in 2004, it was listed as in danger because many high-rise buildings were planned nearby, and that would affect its view. So there were height limits put around the Cologne Cathedral, and then the Cologne Cathedral was removed from the danger list in 2006. What should I talk about next? Let us maybe take a short break on the architectural facts, shall we? Is that okay with you? I mean, technically, I can't hear your response, but okay, sorry, right? I need to play pretend, right? Is that how this works? But by the way, let me check something. So this is not exactly a Gothic fun fact, but did you know that as of today, the day that I'm recording, the 13th of July 2025, 92.9% of people who watch my videos haven't subscribed to my channel. So what I want to ask you is that, have you subscribed? Well, don't worry if you haven't, you know what to do. Thank you so much. Alright, let's see. Based on how I usually organize things, the section would be about Gothic architecture, but please allow me to mention a bit about the Gothic font, or the black letter, or as some people might call it, the Old English font. Black letter was very common from around 1150 to 17th century, similar to how we would very commonly use Times New Roman and Arial nowadays. And Johannes Gutenberg, the inventor of the printing press, used a black letter style font named Textura on his first Bible printing during the 1450s. And the reason some people call this font Old English was because of the digital font named the Old English Text Font, designed by Monotype around the 1990s. Now that we've explored a bit about the font, let's go into the Gothic writings. By the way, what is the first Gothic literature you've ever read? Mine is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Very classic. Speaking of classic, have you read Dracula? I presume a lot of you here have. In the book, there are scenes of Jonathan Harker visiting Romania and Dracula's castle, but did you know that Bram Stoker, the writer, had never been to Romania? He based things of the landscape on library books, travel guides, and imagination, and the Count's castle is said to resemble Bran Castle in Transylvania, Romania. And I just remembered something. The first time I've exposed to an anime named JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it was an anime about people with nickname JoJo, let's say. I can't help but assume that the name of the first protagonist, Jonathan Joestar, is a reference to Jonathan Harker. I mean, they were both Victorian English gentlemen who had a vampire rival. Another important figure we can't miss when talking about Gothic literature is Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley. She is well known for writing Frankenstein at the young age of 18, but lots of people might not know about her other Gothic work, which is Matilda, a disturbing story about a girl named Matilda. Is it any good? I don't know. I've just bought it recently and haven't read it yet. Maybe I'll tell you when I finish reading it. Mary Shelley's last publication, by the way, is Rambles in Germany and Italy, which describes her trips in Europe with her son Percy Florence Shelley and his university friends, who are George Deville, Julian Robinson, and Robert Leslie Ellis. Another fun fact is about Edgar Allan Poe, the father of American Gothic and the father of horror. He did not only shape the history of Gothic literature, but also the detective novels. Poe's short story, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, in 1841, was widely considered as the first detective fiction, with the Paris detective protagonist, the Chevalier Sir Auguste Dupin. And Matthew Lewis, the author of The Monk, was a member of the British Parliament from the year 1796 the same year that he published his Gothic novel and gained immense success. I don't want to assume that it's his best year, but it would be definitely what a year for him. After the rise and fall of Gothic literature, it was the Gothic films that kind of revived the mood and story of Gothic stories again. The film Dracula in 1931, starring the iconic Bela Lugosi, was initially planned to be released on Friday, 13th of February, but the date was then changed to 14th of February instead due to, it might sound weird, but it was due to the superstition about Friday the 13th. Subsequently, that makes the day, instead of being on the unlucky day or, whatever day you call it, to be on Valentine's Day instead. And so, the tagline used for promoting this Dracula film was "The story of the strangest passion the world has ever known." I mean, watching Dracula on Valentine's Day actually sounds wonderful. Why haven't I thought of doing that before? Back to the release date. Even though the release date was set to be on the 14th of February, the film was actually released first on the 12th of February in New York, while the release date in other states remained the same. What should I talk about next? If you think that I forgot about Neo-Gothic architecture, no, I didn't. So now, about the Neo-Gothic architecture. One cool thing about the Strawberry Hill House, the first Gothic revival architecture and the residence of Horace Walpole, who also wrote the first Gothic literature, The Castle of Otranto, is that it used to have a clock gifted by Henry VIII to Anne Boleyn. The clock is now known as the Anne Boleyn's clock, and that clock was purchased by Queen Victoria at the sale of Horace Walpole's collection in 1842, and now it's currently in the royal collection at Windsor Castle. Another fun fact, which I believe is no less important, is that there's a Darth Vader grotesque at the northwest tower of the Washington National Cathedral, built after the restoration in the 1980s. Now, this session would not be complete if we don't touch on the topic of Gothic rock music. Let's start with the beginning, Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus. Did you know the song was recorded in one take during the 6-hour session at Beck's studio in Wellingborough on the 26th of January 1979. It was the band's first recording, made just 6 weeks after they had formed. Next one, Susie Sue's first live performance was at the 100 Club Punk Festival in 1976, where the band, including bassist Steven Severin, guitarist Marco Pironi, and drummer Sid Vicious, improvised a 20-minute music while she sang The Lord's Prayer. Iconic? Yes. Brilliant? Absolutely. I mean, I've been nervous at my first gig, but these people are just at a different level. By the way, not that it's very related, but the Sisters of Mercy has a drum machine named Dr. Avalanche. Doctor with a K, by the way. Dr. Avalanche is considered a member of the band, and the Doctor was first the Boss DR55 drum machine before being replaced by a Roland TR606 and some other machines after that, before the Doctor came back as an Oberheim DMX, which bore the Doctor name. And from what I can find, Dr. Avalanche had now evolved into a MacBook Pro laptop. Anyway, do you know about Fields of the Nephilim, the Gothic rock band that mixes Gothic Victorian themes with spaghetti western vibes? They are also known to dust themselves with flour, Mother's Pride flour to be specific. And the funny thing is that in one day of May 1988, Nottinghamshire police held the band while they were tested at a suspicious substance. It turned out to be, yes, correct, just flour from the stage props. Why are these people so unhinged? And look at how long we've been talking. Look at how long I've been talking. I think we still have enough time for the last 3 random facts. Perhaps these would be something that doesn't exactly fit in any of the categories I've mentioned before. How do we start counting? 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1? Don't say start with a 2. That would be too chaotic. I'll decide. 3, 2, 1 then. It's a bit more dramatic that way. So 3. Atelier Piero, a brand known for Gothic Lolita and classic Lolita clothing, had a collaboration with a character named Suginto from Rosenmeiden. The set was called Blackwing Crucifix Dress Set and was available to order from the 26th of December 2024 to the 5th of January 2025 at the price of 38,500 yen or approximately $266. 2. Before the subculture emerged, the word cybergoth was first used in 1988 by Games Workshop for their role-playing game, Dark Future. 1. I haven't talked much about Gothic furniture, but have you ever wondered how Chip and Dale, the 2 chipmunks from Disney, got their name? Well, it was somewhat related to Gothic furniture. Chip and Dale was named after Thomas Chippendale, who developed the Chippendale furniture style in the 18th century England. The Chippendale style is actually one of the most famous furniture styles, mainly influenced by Gothic, Rococo, and Chinese or Chinoiserie styles. The influence of Gothic architecture is prominent in the usage of ornate Gothic arches and window designs on chairs. And I think that's all energy I could muster up for one talk. I still have a ton of random facts on my list, but I feel like I should just stop here. I will let this be a test if you like it or not, and if I should do this for the next milestones or not as well. So, if you want me to, do this again, you can subscribe to my channel, and I don't want to pressure you, but I've also got a thanks option if you want to give me an extra tip for tomorrow's coffee. Yeah, it has been there for a while already, but it just doesn't sit right with me to mention it very often, since I don't want any of you to feel obligated to donate or give money directly. But if I don't say it, who would know the option is even available, right? Alright, that should be all for now. Take care, everyone. Thank you for being here. See you on the next journey.